The UK is ramping up vaccinations in areas where the more contagious India variant of COVID-19 has been detected. Cases linked to the variant have doubled in the past week. The UK has one of the fastest vaccination campaigns in the world. Almost 70% of the adult population has received their first dose, and more than half that number is fully vaccinated. Ollie Barrett joins us from London. Ollie, how will the vaccination rollout be tweaked or reworked?
There are various ways that this might work. One is that we might see more vaccinations going into the arms of younger people in hotspot areas who live in multi-generational households. We may well see some over 50s in hotspot areas having their second doses of the vaccine accelerated, being brought forward earlier than otherwise might have been the case. We're certainly going to see extra doses being sent to some of these areas around those places that the India variant has been spotted and is thought to be growing in number. We also expect to hear more from the government later about testing and exactly how that can contribute here. We know that the government wants to make sure that testing is really ramped up in some of these areas where the variant has been discovered, so that as many people as possible can be picked up if they have that strain and can be moved into isolation to try and break some of the chains of transmission. We will hear from Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, at Downing Street in about 3.5 hours from now. He will be flanked by his Chief Medical Officer, Chris Whitty, and we'll get much more detail from them at that point about exactly what this new vaccination strategy in parts of the country is going to look like. We are being led to believe very much that the expectation is that what they will talk about is vaccination and testing as the way to best get on top of the spread of the India variant, rather than, for example, slowing down the unlocking of the roadmap out of lockdown restrictions, or even putting local lockdown restrictions in place where hotspots are being identified.
And Ollie, are they also expected to sort of share with their thoughts or how confident they are perhaps that the variant will not affect the efficacy of the vaccines they're rolling out?
Absolutely, that will be expected from Boris Johnson and Chris Whitty, some hopefully reassurance on that matter. Up to now, UK officials have been saying very clearly that they have no evidence at all that this India-discovered variant is more resistant or escaping vaccine efficiency and efficacy than other strains that are already circulating in the UK. So we would expect to hear that confirmed by Chris Whitty and Boris Johnson at Downing Street a little bit later. And this is really a first real-world test of the whole principle behind the UK's vaccination programme, which for months has been get as many doses into as many arms of as many elderly and vulnerable people as quickly as possible. And then if you do see an uptick in cases, it shouldn't feed through into large-scale hospitalisations, fatalities and the overwhelming of the National Health Service. So it'll be interesting to hear whether Boris Johnson believes that he can stick to those guns. And as I say, a major unlocking of the English economy due on Monday. Cinemas, theatres, indoor hospitality, some international travel, all beginning to reopen and resume. And at this point, we do not expect that Boris Johnson is going to row back from that date.
Yeah, certainly is a lot on the line. Thanks for that update. Ollie Barrett in London.